And today we will talk something about electrons and the places where they live. Yeah, orbitals. See, earlier we saw that simply they were like planets revolving around sun in simple circular orbits, but that's not the truth. The electrons are found in regions in the space, that is 3D space around the electrons, and that space is known as orbital. That space is known as orbital. It's this place where the probability of finding an electron is maximum. Okay. Now, depending upon different energy levels and distance from the nucleus. See, the electron that is closest to the nucleus will have less potential energy as compared to the one that is farther from the nucleus. Okay. So, the orbitals can be 1s. S is for spherical shape here. Clear? The S is spherical shape. These are spherical orbitals. 2s, 3s. Clear? Now if I say there are p orbitals also. They are, see, dumbbell shaped. This plane is passing through the node. Clear? So it separates the two lobes of the p orbital here. 2p orbital. Then you can simply cut in different planes. Clear? So you will get 2px, 2py, 2pz, right? So definitely we know that the electrons are quantum particles. They show wave behavior. They will be found in different spaces called orbitals. Clear? You can see the 5d orbitals also here. Okay. Now, to make the study simple, what is said that electrons are found in the spaces with fixed energy levels, and we say them electron shells. If I say what is an electron shell, the electrons exist only at fixed levels of potential energy. See, there are degenerate orbitals. For example, if I say all the three orbitals in 2p, so px, py, pz, they will be having the electrons with similar energy level. Anyways, the truth is that no two electrons can have same energy, but the electrons in this same orbital will have similar energy. Or we can say the electrons in the same shell can have same basic energy, basal energy levels. Clear? And for studying we say that okay, this is the nucleus and there are different shells, first, second, third, and so on. The electron in this one is there. Suppose first shell, it gets energy and gets excited and jumps to the higher energy state, higher energy level, or if it gets more energy, it will go to this one, this energy state. Clear? Okay. Now this is the first step of photosynthesis. The electrons of the chlorophyll molecule gets excited when they get light energy, they get photons, and then they get excited and jumps to the next energy level. See, one more thing, you will say, ma'am, electrons and hydrogen are in the first 1s orbital, then why these much orbitals met? See, these orbitals exist. The electrons in simply resting hydrogen atom are in the 1s orbital, but these orbitals are there, and when suppose the electron get excited, it can jump into the higher energy level. Okay. Energy is the capacity to cause change, for example, by doing work. And potential energy, you know, the energy that a matter possesses because of its location. So electrons in the atom will have potential energy due to the distance from the nucleus. So electrons which are nearest to the nucleus will have lowest potential energy, and the electrons which are farther from the nucleus will have less energy. Will have more energy. Okay. In one orbital there are 2 electrons. In first shell there is 1 orbital s. In second shell there is 2s orbital and there are 3 p orbitals, 2p x, 2p y, 2p z. Then in third shell there are 3s, then 3p orbitals, then 5d orbitals. And how many electrons will be there? In each orbital there will be 2, but in one shell how many will be there? You can simply calculate 2n to the power 2. So if I say in first shell 2, in second shell here n is 2, 2 to the power 2. 8 electrons will be there. In third shell it will be 3 to the power 2, that's 9. So 18 electrons will be there. Simply each here see 2, 2, 2, 2, 8 electrons. Here 3 p orbitals. So each having 2, total 6 plus here s. So 8 electrons plus 5 in each d. So 10. So 18 electrons will be there in third shell. 8 electrons will be there in second shell. Anyways, if we have to simply represent by diagram, this is the nucleus of hydrogen atom. In the first shell 1 electron. Then helium 2 electrons. Anyways, these electrons are not the balls sitting together. These are not lovebirds. They spin in opposite directions. Clear? They are going to take divorce. So they spin in opposite directions. Anyways, these are simple representations. Then if I say lithium, 2 electrons in first shell, then third one is in the third shell. If this is lithium, suppose this was hydrogen, this was helium, this is lithium. Now if I say this is not lithium, this is neon, then in the first shell 2 and in the second shell there will be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Clear? Second shell is 8, third shell is 18. Clear? Anyways, so these are simple things. Now what is valence shell and valence electrons? See, when you say that chemical behavior of an atom, that depends on the electrons in the outermost shell. If I say 1 electron of hydrogen, that its outermost shell is the one shell that is having. If I say this is lithium, this electron behavior. Clear? Now the valence shell is the outer shell. This one is here will be the valence shell. For hydrogen, this itself is the valence shell. So outermost shell is the valence shell actually. Clear? And outermost electron is the one. They are valence electron. Clear? So valence electrons, outer electrons. Clear? In lithium there is only one valence electron. Clear? And the shell is valence shell. Now if I say the number of electrons in the outermost shell, that will decide how the atom is there forming bonds with other atoms and all. Actually these are the electrons that are involved in forming the bonds, and these are the electrons of the outermost shell, that is valence shell. Okay, and the atoms which have same number of valence electrons behave similarly. Clear? If I say chlorine. Clear? So chlorine and fluorine both have 7 valence electrons. If I say this is the atom of fluorine, this is first shell, this is second shell, and in the second shell there will be 7 electrons here for this is fluorine. And if I say chlorine, this is atom, this is first shell, second shell and third shell, and in the third shell there will be 7 electrons. This is chlorine. Clear? So both will behave similar and similar compounds will be formed. Similar means it's not the same compound. If I say sodium fluoride, added in toothpaste, sodium chloride, table salt which we eat. So you can see. Then one more thing. If the valence shell is complete, the atom is inert. Now if I say helium, neon, argon, they are inert. Clear? So the atoms in the right of the periodic table, right, they will be inert. If I say helium, helium is having 2 electrons in its shell. That's the valence shell, one and only shell. Neon, it is having all the 8 electrons in its valence shell. Neon. If I say argon, it is having all full electrons in its valence shell. So it's full. The valence shell is full. Okay. One more thing, I told you that the maximum electrons, the probability of having maximum electrons in the third shell can be 18. But there is octet rule, and that the shell can have maximum 8 electrons. It will try to have 8 electrons to be stable. There is Aufbau principle, right? All those things you study in physics, chemistry and all that. Electrons will try to fill the lower energy levels first. Then the electrons in 4s will fill before 3d, and these things are there. You study much better than me, right? Because I know biology more. So electrons in the third shell stop at 8 to gain stability. Okay, anyways, these were the things, simple things that we studied, and then in the next lecture we will see how the molecules are formed, ionic compounds are formed, then chemical bonds, different bonds we will study in the next lecture. Okay, I hope you understood, because I tried to explain. Anyways, I don't know, I don't know this things much. Okay, bye bye.